Any physics buff would know Bose-Einstein condensation and the statistics named after Satyendranath Bose, which is usually called as bosons. An interesting fact about Satyendranath Bose is that he also served as a member of Indian Parliament. N Bose was a member of Rajya Sabha, which is the upper house in the Indian Parliament. Notably, he participated in some debates on bills, mainly in the second term, around 1955 onwards. He was part of the earliest formulation of the UGC bill, which is the University Grants Commission bill, in 1954 or so. The bill itself actually had a very important implication in the education system of our country, which is India. On page 95 of the brief biographies of Rajya Sabha members, you will find the information about S.N. Bose, the documentation specifically mentioning Professor Satyendranath Bose and his date of birth, and also various different details related to the awards what he has got and the terms he served during the Rajya Sabha tenure. Bose also participated in some debates in Rajya Sabha, mainly regarding education and research, as you can expect him to participate. So I'm just going to read out an excerpt of the speech he gave in the UGC bill, which is worth paying attention towards. He mentions that it has, of course, been suggested that the particular commission would be able to solve the problem of education in country. I may, however, point out that in this task we will ultimately have to depend upon the responsible people that are in charge of education inside the universities. I also know, sir, he's making a comment to the parliament, that every teacher in our country is alive to his responsibility, and the corporate bodies that we have set up in our land are also serious about their task. He's talking in 1955, I do not feel, sir, that the standard of our universities has gone down to very ludicrous level. I do not feel so because I remember the long list of persons that have been turned out by these universities who have served the national cause and who have been and who still continue to be leaders of thought in our country. We also remember, sir, that in many of these universities there are young people and workers who have achieved fame and distinction, who have contributed substantially to the cause of learning, and who have made name of India respected in different lands. Therefore, sir, you need not have any misgivings about the way in which work is being done in our universities. All that is wanted is that you should be generous and you should set up an efficient machinery which should be able to get in touch with the people who work at different centers and should find out what they need, and you should be able to supply those needs in the form of grants, which may either be given out of the consolidated fund of the government or out of the fund set apart for this purpose, which would be administered by the commission. Stop quote. As you can observe, S.N. Bose is making a case for increased funding for the Indian research community and is emphasizing the availability of excellent human resource in the university. He's talking in 1950s, by the way. As researchers in India, we must ask ourselves whether we have lived up to that particular confidence and effectively address these issues over the past several decades. In my own kind of thought, I think we have not really lived up to the high kind of status what Bose is kind of associating Indian universities to. Somehow we have not been able to sustain that particular, high standards. Bose optimism motivates us to relook at our own system. We should really think about how the education system, not only at primary level but also higher education system is working, and also self-reflect on pursuing scientific and technological research in India. A good starting point is to ask ourselves, is there ease of doing research and teaching? These are very important aspects which we have to always keep in our mind. And one should always remember that these are all people who really played a critical role in putting their thoughts. That doesn't mean that many others also did not really play a critical role in bringing science and technology to the forefront of Indian thought process. But we may have to ask ourselves down the lane, have we been able to sustain that high standards and also the high expectation of our country to go forward and become kind of thought leaders in science, technology, and also humanities. This is a question we have to keep asking ourselves, and I'm hoping that young people would be able to participate in this particular development and look at in what way we would be able to contribute further. Thanks.